this is Cam with the EQC, Emerald Queen Casino, the fight capital, entertainment capital of the Northwest. We're here with Whitney Hayfield, the legendary boxing matchmaker. We got the heavyweights up first. We got Scott Alexander, 17-6-2. 9 KOs, he's fighting out of LA, he's risking it all against the champ. The champ is here, Kingsley Ibeh, the Black Lion. He's 14-2-1 with 12 KOs. His last fight was here for fight night, knocked out the guy in devastating fashion in the first round. I believe the guy's still asleep in the back somewhere. We haven't been able to wake him up. You do not want to miss this fight. How do you see this going, Whit?
Yeah, Kingsley is a force to be reckoned with, and I think people around the world have some idea about what he's all about, but most people know him for fighting on ESPN a lot during COVID, and he was brand new to the sport of boxing at that moment in time. He's come a long way since then. He's somebody to be feared. Scott Alexander, I know Scotty very, very well. I made a lot of his early fights. He has a fascinating story himself. At one point, he was considered one of the top 2 or 3 prospects, young prospects, because he turned pro at the age of 19. He came out of something called the Heavyweight Factory in LA. What they did is they took 100 guys, football players, wannabe boxers, basketball players, just athletes, big. You had to be at least 6'3", 6'4", weigh at least 2. They had parameters. And they threw them all in a camp where they lived, eat, and slept boxing 24/7, and they just let them, the cream rose to the top. Well, among the top 2 of those 100 was Scott Alexander, and he was the guy that they were really pushing. And he's had a mixed bag with his career, but I will say at his last fight, he had number 5, Frank Sanchez, out on his feet, and he was this close to upsetting him. So he's a proper opponent for a guy like Ibeh. If Ibeh wants to continue raising eyebrows, he's going to need another performance like he's had recently.
All right, our next fight is another championship fight. We got Rosalindo Morales fighting out of Pittsburgh, PA. That's the Steel City, you already know. He's 10-1, 2 KOs. He's going against the champ, Austin Brooks, WBC Continental Champion. 12-0, 1 decision, 5 KOs. His last fight was here for Emerald Queen Fight Night. It went to a decision. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He needs this win. He wants this win. How do you see this one going, Whit?
Their KO numbers are a little bit light, and that portends to people thinking that the fight's going to go 10 rounds. I think they're going to go at it. I think, I'll tell you what, Austin, he's really upset with himself about the last outing, and I don't think he needs to be. And the reason why is because he found himself in a little bit of a jackpot in the last fight. He was trailing on the cards deep into the fight. And for him to gut out that draw, I know a lot of people saw that fight a lot of different ways. I had people ringside telling me it was a draw. It was Azat Hovhannissian winning by a clear decision. And I even had some people thought Austin won the fight. So it was controversial to a degree, but bottom line is Austin carried the last part of that fight. But he's upset with himself, and he feels like he needs to make a statement. He is rated number 15 in the world by the WBA. He's looking to rise in the rankings, and he's going to need to win by knockout to get himself back viable again and potentially get a non-mandatory world title opportunity.
All right, this is the sleeper fight of the night. This is the fight that you really don't go get a beer, sit down, wait a little bit, watch this happen. You got Nestle Trezile fighting out of Inglewood, California. You know what I'm saying, Inglewood. He's 1-1, going against a kid who is making his pro debut, but this ain't any kid. 19 years old, 7-time amateur champion, Dedrick Crocklem, Tacoma's own, fighting out of the city. You know what I'm talking about, the TAC versus Inglewood. Be here, how do you see it going, Whit?
Brazil's coming off a win here at the Queen, and we brought him back. This is going to be a tough assignment for Nestle. Dedric has a tremendous amateur pedigree, just shy of making the Olympic team. I'm not sure exactly what played out there and how he didn't end up on the Olympic team, but he has a high-profile manager, high-profile promoter, and he's going to be, for him to be making his pro debut here at the Queen it's terrific, and this could be the start of something very special here for him. Yeah. And his earning potential in this sport can be quite high.
All right, we got Cruz Basera Montillon, 1-0, going against Roland Neese, who is 4-0. Cruz is fighting out of Cali, Roland's fighting out of New Mexico. Neither one of these fighters have tasted defeat, but someone's always got to go. Who's it going to be, Whit?
Roland Neese is an American Indian, Native American Indian fighter with a lot of ability. I was able to see a little bit of video on him. I hadn't heard of him, he was brought to my attention. I really like what I saw with this guy. He's a long, rangy fighter with a ton of skills. And the dude he's fighting is also a tall, rangy guy who had his pro debut where he fought. He was supposed to be a sacrificial lamb for somebody, and he flipped the switch, flipped the script, if you will, and scored a devastating first round knockout.
Okay.
And he was really the only guy that would step up to do this fight. So you have two undefeated guys right there, both probably 6'2", big punchers, good skills. It's gonna be a blast.
Okay, we got another undefeated matchup. You don't want to miss this one. Nelson Guerrero, he's 2-0 with 1 decision. He's fighting out of Nicaragua. He's going against a highly touted up-and-comer, fighting out of Featherweight, Alexis de la Cerda Landin. He's 4-0. Both these fighters are going to fight hard. They're going to put everything they got, all their passion, all their blood, sweat, and tears. Neither one of them want to lose their first time. How do you see this matchup going, Whit? There we go, I got it.
A couple more guys, featherweights, that are putting their undefeated records on the line. Nelson's fought here at the Queen before. He happens to be signed with Torre Promotions. He's coming off what most would consider a disappointing draw in his last fight. He's going to be put to the test versus Alexis de la Cerda Landin, local kid from Federal Way. We've had a lot of fighters from Federal Way over the years here at the Queen. He's a good one. He's already fought in Orlando, Florida. He's somebody that people have an eye on, and this is a really good fight. I should point out the undercard of this show in general, if you take the combined records of every fighter on the card, it's just shy of a 95% win percentage. And if you take the whole card, it's about 85%. So we have some accomplished fighters here that are fighting other accomplished fighters. And that's the way, when boxing can be like that, it's a great thing.
All right, for this fight, we got Julio Lanzas Carrillo fighting out of Colorado Springs, going against Joel Hernandez fighting out of Renton. Both fighters are making their professional debut. You could be seeing the start of a legendary career. How do you see this one going, Whit?
Joel was supposed to make his pro debut for us back on our last show here in October. He's a quality local fighter with a very extensive amateur background. Potential guy that's going to be fighting here at the Queen over and over and over again. He's going to be fighting a guy from Colorado Springs, Colorado, Julio Lanzas Jr. The notable thing about Lanzas is that his dad had about 40 pro fights. His dad was a guy on the circuit, was fighting monthly for a long, long time, maybe 15 years ago. So I love these guys that are sons of fighters. His dad will be working his corner. Rugged, it's a beautiful fight. It's going to be great. The electricity is going to be off the chain, and then you could only, if you haven't been here to the Emerald Queen before and been to the boxing here, I could tell you about it till I'm blue in the face, but to actually be here, it's very special for the fighters. It's special for me as a boxing person. I don't think there's anywhere I'd rather be than here.
You heard it here first. Catch it in the ring at the Emerald Queen.